Hi guys, this is Hirosaki. This story is all about what if Naruto was in Teen Titans. Naruto runs from Konoha as he tried to escape a past he wishes to forget. When he uses everything he has, he gets sent through space and time, and finds himself in Jump City. How will the Titans handle him? Can Naruto finally move on in life? Welcome aboard! Chapter 16, Cope, Train, and Love Incoming Forces. Alright, this is what we got so far. Cyborg plugged in his cord to the computer and uploaded his new data, and started filing TI all away in its appropriate spots. All the Titans were there to see the debriefing. After sorting it, he pulled up the file for Sasuke. This guy is one of the main characters of that group of ninja after KitsuneX and his friend. He's got special eyes, able to foretell a move, able to conjure many things, and as well as his skills to manifest fire and lightning into attacks. Seems he is a hothead and leader. How wrong he was on that last title. He pulled up Kakashi next. This guy is cool-headed, and has decent skills. He pulled up the rest as well. All of them are ninja with decent skills, and they each have different abilities but similar powers. This one he pulled Sakura's file. Was put into a coma, and if the news on Killer Frost is anything to say about it, she'll be in it for a while. He put up Kakashi, Neji and Sasuke only. These three got hit hard by KitsuneX. The leader got his eye burst into nothing, the white-eyed one got gashed open, and the other got a lightning hand to the lung. All three will be under stress. We don't know where they went, but if they don't get medical help soon, then those two are dead. Donna Hamden thought. So, these guys are enemies of KitsuneX, but they're from his dimension? Am I getting this right? Raven turned to her, nodding. Yes. Although, KitsuneX is much more powerful, and seems I felt betrayal inside him. He feels they betrayed him, and that was why he was so angry. Static sighed. So, you're telling me, KitsuneX was pissed off because these guys betrayed him? Raven nodded, but looked down in sympathy. It was more than betrayal, it was hatred, a kind of hatred from a broken heart. It was aimed at three people, the one in the coma, and the two blonde girls. Superboy crossed his arms over his chest. So, he was pissed off because they broke his heart and betrayed him. Must have been some betrayal and some type of realistic bullshit they gave him to make him go off like he did. Cyborg pulled up the updated KitsuneX profile. KitsuneX though was missing, and he freed Catwoman before fleeing the scene with her, otherwise Batman wouldn't have begun to think on finding her too. Truthfully, Naruto put a clone to use genjutsu with his Sharingan on the Titans, thus making it seem like he freed her in the labs, when in reality, he didn't. He took her back to base before freeing her. He pulled up the file for Naruto. KitsuneX. For those of you who do not know yet, he is very strong. Here's the video recordings of him so far, and some previous footage of when he and Robin were Red X. He showed them everything the suit and KitsuneX was capable of. This discouraged them a bit. Donna Hamden thought though. Okay, so who is fully with KitsuneX? You said he was with people from something called the Hive. Cyborg nodded, bringing up a few pictures. Here's what I think. The only reason he would help Catwoman was if Cheshire was with him. Back in the Hive, when I was infiltrating it, Cheshire and Jinx were always after him somehow. He was more friends with Jinx, Gizmo, and Mammoth. Those four are the best possibles. Not to mention Cheshire had private Hive with her, and then there was Kid Wikikoid helping Gizmo and Mammoth the other day. It was a full debrief. All their powers, everything about them for the newest members to know and calculating what was going on. It wasn't until Wally spoke until Raven decided to elaborate. So, what was with his fox thingy surrounding him, and his infatuation with foxes? Raven turned to him. It's a dangerous S-class demon, apparently, as he tells it, the nine-tailed demon fox is sealed inside him. It's not unheard of, but still, it does not bode well. The nine-tailed fox could cause earthquakes and tsunamis with a swish of its tails. For every tale of power he shows, he gains more power. Cyborg hummed. So, 9 tails are the maximum. He was super powerful with that shit. Didn't seem like Master of Hell kind of power, but still powerful. Raven looked at Cyborg with a serious look. He's holding it back. It's like he wants to use skill rather than power. Like he said, he was pissed off. That alone says as long as we don't piss him off, he doesn't even attempt to use that power. Starfire flew up to Raven. He says to not make him mad, but how do we not make him mad? The KitsuneX is ruthless as we have seen, and the idea of us wanting to take him to jail, most villains we face aren't very happy with that. Wally crossed his arms over his chest. You have a point, normally criminals are generally mad when they are locked up. Thing is, I think he isn't a normal criminal, just a thief. Beast Boy thought a little bit on that. True. He's stolen property from some of the highest known enterprises, the Red X suit, the scanner for Xenothium, some Xenothium, the materials for the KitsuneX suit, some money from those 2 guys we seen him in KitsuneX uniform for the first time, and then there's the diamonds, otherwise he hasn't caused any ruckus. Cyborg nodded. And if that friend of his is anything to go by, KitsuneX had a rough childhood, having people steal from you till you have only the clothes on your back for years. I think it's safe to say he only wants what he wants and doesn't care if he has to steal. Superboy looked to Starfire. I got a question, how is it that he's so strong and living with villains? Cyborg sighed. Cheshire I am unsure, but Jinx, Gizmo and Mammoth are mostly just thieves with superpowers. Jinx has her unlucky magic, Gizmo is a smart kid even on my level, and Mammoth is super strong and resilient. Private Hive is more of a mercenary, and Kid is an unknown, but is friends with Private Hive. Donna crossed her arms in front of her, looking down and thought. Dick's been heavily outgunned here. And just as he gets the help to pull off catching this guy, he has to quit. Damn Batman. What does Diana even see in him if he is going to do this to people trying to be heroes? If I could, I think I would try to let go of my own persona. But I don't have to let it go until I have a new one set to take. Dick left me in charge, and I will do right by him. She came up to the computer and started up a new file. Listen, the way I see it, we need to be ready for this. Team drills every day, we need to buff our teamwork, especially since some people here are new to the team. Cyborg, I will need help understanding what Robin was doing for your teamwork so far, think you can give me a hand? Cyborg smiled. Seems you got the right idea. I guess I can give this a shot. First thing we need to do is see some skills. You're the leader now. So how do we see the skills of the new members? Donna smiled back. I gotcha. Fine. Titans, outside. We're going to go freeform sparring. Battle Royale style. She flew herself through the door and outside, everyone running and flying to meet with her outside. It was going to be one hell of a training session. With Naruto. Gizmo grumbled as he looked at the black suit in front of him, he cursed. Fired. Baked. Ruined. Seriously, how did the power core not blow up? Oh wait, the overload is fried, it shut the systems down and you just pumped more power that seeped through the suit. No wonder the dragon's skin is bubbled up and the titanium turned brittle, hell even the damn steel plates are melted. He threw the thing off his desk and turned to Naruto. Sadly, this suit is totally fried, no way to salvage anything, the only things you can keep are the swords, they managed to survive. Otherwise, I need to make the suit again by scratch. Give me a week. Naruto sighed, but grabbed the 3 swords. Fine. I'll put these up for now. After that, do you need anything? Gizmo turned, grinning playfully. Yeah, what did you and Jinx talk about earlier? Naruto stopped, stalling mid-step as he was at the doorway. He turned to Gizmo with a smile. I have no idea what you're talking about. Gizmo just snickered and he sweat dropped before turning, grumbling as he left the young smarty pants to his work. Truthfully, he and Jinx talked a lot, and shit got heavy, real heavy, like hot heavy. He wondered what kind of an idiot he was to do what he did, and wondered if Jinx could ever forgive him. He wasn't very good with affections. Flashback, a few moments ago. Jinx had pulled him to his room and twisted him around, pushing him onto the bed and sitting by him. Now, I know you held some info back there, gonna tell me what's on your mind? Or do I have to beat it from you? It was a bluff, a good one too, seeing as he was weak, and didn't really want to fight his friend, so she could give him a friendly pounding until he talked. Hell, she could tickle him mercilessly until he talked. Either way she wanted to know, he was still stressed out. Naruto sighed. I have no idea what to do about it. All I know is they have more members. Whoever they are pretty good on their own, but if they integrate and get with the team enough to fight better against us, we're gonna be in trouble. Jinx pouted, punching his arm. You already have us that information, what's really going on? Or should I use this? And don't think I won't keep it up till you pee your pants. She had pulled out a rather big feather. Naruto chuckled nervously. She had used that thing once on him already, and learned his tickle spots enough to try it effectively. He thought he was good at torture. Give Jinx a feather and you'll be a puddle on the floor, giving her every single detail down to the freckles of who were there. Naruto sighed. Well, I thought I would trick the Titans, therefore Batman. I really don't want him finding our base. I tried to unfreeze her on the spot, but I couldn't get the controls. I set up a clone to activate a genjutsu so the Titans would see her fly off alone. I think it worked, but you know it wasn't easy sneaking out with 5 clones carrying a damn cryogenic container from the labs without anyone noticing. Naruto looked up a bit. Not to mention my old friends went missing. They escaped somehow. If the reports I got from my communications, which was a miracle, were still online after all that, can attest to their missing. I severely wounded half of them. They wouldn't be able to move very much. Jinx frowned at that. So you tricked the Titans and your former friends go missing out of nowhere. Sounds like you're thinking, this does not bode well, am I right? Well, I doubt it would, seeing as it sounds like a way crazy coincidence. Still, you fought them all, helped the Titans. I think they will just ignore you to look for the former friends of yours. Naruto chuckled nervously. You know me well enough, I suppose. Still, it's got me worried. Who helped them escape? Neji has a gash in his belly, Kakashi has a popped lung, Sasuke has a major ass whoppin', Sakura's in a coma from my torture of her, Ino and Temari should be passed out from the grinding of my Raisengans to their heads, Lee is knocked out, and then there's Hinata who went MIA. I do not know what SHE has planned, but after telling me she wanted to break all ties to Konoha and the others of that team, I doubt she would actually help them escape. Jinx hummed and thought from that, figuring only 2 ways for them to actually have. I think either an enemy you made, the Titans made, or they got lucky and managed to escape. You didn't wound them all enough to force them to stay caught. Naruto sighed as he slumped. What kind of enemy would I have made anyway? Other than Gotham Rouges, whom are put behind bars, I think, since they escape so often, they should be getting better at holding those Rouges. The Ice 5 I faced should know never to fuck with me again, and the Titans wouldn't do that. So, either the Titans, or bad luck. Jinx smirked. I know bad luck, and I say this is just not it. I say the Titans are in for a ride. Think they can fight them off? Naruto chuckled a little. Given the time to rest, and the time between now and when my former friends are fully set to attack, they should have a plan and enough team training skills to manage their attacks and possibly beat them. My former friends are not as powerful as I am, although 1 or 2 of them are more experienced. Won't help in the case between the heroes. Besides, why would they have laid low till now if they thought they could take them? Jinx hummed, thinking he got a good point there. True. Although battling the Titans and trying to take over in order to find you would have brought the whole damn Justice League on their butts, that would be pretty crazy. They would definitely be down for the count then. Naruto hummed and thought about that. True. So, they stayed in hiding to keep a low profile away from the Justice League, therefore the reason it took them a year to finally appear on the radar. Meaning Tino who would win. Still, who knows what will happen in the future. Jinx smiled, putting her hand on his and intertwining their fingers. Whatever comes up, you know we are here for you. The team is safe and soon we will prosper and enjoy our lives how we want, and it will be thanks to you. Naruto was still a statue, looking as Jinx had grabbed his hand. Now, he was a ninja, he killed in his world as a job, he's seen all sorts of bullshit, felt all sorts of bullshit, but affection and easygoing friendships weren't very common for him. Either they betrayed his heart, his feelings, his friendship, and hurt him physically to boot, or they just ignored him during moments of great distress he was in. He had a poker face, that was the point, but even with a poker face, people are different in their minds and hearts. Naruto's mind and heart were overtime. He was wondering why she was getting closer to him, sliding up against him and squeezing his hand, and his heart was beating, not used to this kind of loving affection. Now, if it were a friendly encounter she was going for, she was aiming way to the left on this one, and thus why he was in distress now. She got closer to him, blushing lightly as she smiled softly. Especially me. I care very much for you. And I know, I used to try to harm you, but I changed. You want to give me a chance, you said. May I have this chance to show you how much I care? He was losing to his inner feelings, his heart beating, his mind racking for ideas, and his eyes going slightly wide as she got closer, closing her eyes as she did. He only had one thought to this before it happened. Why does she care so much for a fuck-up like me? She then closed the distance, pressing her lips against his softly. He was still processing the stimulating contact. She pulled back shortly after, blushing more. He was blushing now, his resolve to stay cool shattered. He relaxed a bit, sighing. She then wrapped an arm around his shoulder and kissed him again, this time deeper, pulling him to her and deepening the kiss. Naruto groaned into the kiss, and then relaxed, melting to her lips as he put a hand to her side. She moaned lightly into the kiss as she deepened it further, her hand sliding down his arm to his waist, trying to slide against him for more contact. Naruto finally snapped into reality and pulled back, huffing as he tried to regain his breath from the deep kiss. Jinx looked wide-eyed as the kiss was suddenly broken. Naruto and her stayed there for about a moment or two before he slowly stood up, and gave her a nervous smile and chuckle. I gotta go. Gizmo should be done with the suit's diagnostics for how ruined it is. She nodded, unable to speak as he walked fast out the room. Thus, he was then thinking about how much of an idiot he was, making Jinx think he didn't enjoy it at all. In fact, he did, but he never had that feeling before, never had that kind of affection before. It was hellishly confusing for him right this moment. He just needed to calm down and find out what to do about his feelings. Flashback end. All in all, an awkward moment, and he wondered what it was all about. He never had a really good kiss, only a peck or small sweet kiss, nothing like the heavy make-out Jinx just gave him out of the blue. He was trying to regain his breathing and heartbeat from that. He managed to, but he was still blushing from it and wondering what to do. He went out of the base to clear his head, maybe robbing a few joints would do him some good. Hell, he wished his rival Robin would come in so he could kick some butt and mess around. Well, he got his wish. Out of nowhere, and he did mean it because he was not paying attention to his surroundings until this happened. Dick, in his civilian clothes and everything, dropped on top of him in an alley, and landed swiftly before flipping back and cartwheeling a kick to Naruto's head. Naruto stepped to the side and dodged it as Dick twisted and slammed a fist forward, Naruto dodging it to the right and Dick's fist cracked the wall behind Naruto before launching a quick and fierce forearm tackle. Naruto grabbed the arm and twisted it around, and then clamped his arm around Dick's neck, and holding his other hand at his side. Nice moves. Not bad at all, you snuck up on me. Too bad I wasn't paying any attention, otherwise I would have known sooner. Congrats, you used stealth against me. Dick smirked, relaxing. I knew you'd dodge my first attack, but I had to keep trying anyway. I need more training. I need something to get my mind off what happened. Naruto let Dick go, and hummed. Robin without the costume. So, mind giving me a rundown? Dick frowned, looking down. No. It's none of your concern. Dick looked around in the city, seeing the ice still there, but melting quick enough. After all this, and after your friend helping make this happen, and then helping stop the attack. Where were you in all this? Naruto shrugged, deciding to just tell a lie here. Frozen. I don't a special quality he does. Dick hummed in thought, narrowing his eyes. I see. Still, his special quality is a demon, right? Why didn't you tell us that? Naruto shrugged more. What can I say, he isn't a demon to me. He's just a person. It's because people thought of him as a demon that they stole from him, poisoned him, beat him up, and so on since he was able to walk. He just uses it as a way to help himself and his friends. By the way, he told me after he freed me, those fuckers who helped those ice guys really pissed him off. Dick nodded, huffing. That's an understatement. He was all over the place. Why though? Why was he so pissed off? Naruto narrowed his eyes. Those guys tried to destroy the city he calls home, and threatens his friends, and takes a comrade from him and holds them hostage to draw him out? That doesn't seem like a good reason? Dick looked confused now. Comrade? Catwoman was his comrade? I understand one of his team worked with Catwoman, but why would he consider her a comrade? Just because she was a thief? Naruto sighed deeply. He finds her a comrade probably because she is a thief, not a villain, and because she might know how to play around, and probably isn't too serious. That's a big no-no to him. He doesn't really enjoy people who take life seriously. Dick nodded, but looked down in seriousness. Not many people can play around, not when things like what happened here goes on. We have to be serious to get things done quickly, otherwise the world could end. Naruto chuckled lightly. Listen to yourself. You know what would happen, you know how to stop it. Instead of being serious all the time, which makes you tense up, thus slowing you down, relax more, play around and be faster, smoother, and be able to face anything, both physically and psychologically. Dick looked at Naruto, a little scowl appearing. If I play around too much, villains that would destroy lives like it's a damn fun house activity will be able to faster than you could blink. Naruto sighed again. I never said play around too much. I said play around more than you already do, and relax. Thus, if you want to be stronger under me, you will have to understand a few things. 1. Relax your mind, relax your body, and flow with the movements of others. React, whilst acting on your will to fight. Dick narrowed his eyes on Naruto more, before sighing and relaxing. He hadn't anything better to do, and he needed to get stronger. He relaxed as much as he could. But he knew Naruto was going to attempt to take him, using his relaxing as a way to beat him down, showing more ninja skills. To his surprise, Naruto never did such a thing, and he was just watching. He was confused again. Why are you standing there? I was expecting you to attack me while I relaxed. Naruto smirked a bit. True. Suddenly Naruto was on him and slammed a fist into Dick's shoulder, forcing him backward a couple feet. Dick grunted, getting up as he held his shoulder. That was dangerous. If you hit any harder, I'd have broken my shoulder. You're striking to disable though. Naruto tisked. Think again. That was a good portion of my power and skill. If you had tensed and taken the hit, expecting it and trying to force my punch to deflect, what would have become of your arm? Dick blinked in confusion and looked at his shoulder. He wasn't very badly hurt, but it still stung. He gasped, realizing if he had tried what he normally did, it would have dislocated, and badly. He turned to Naruto, who smiled. That's it, you got it. See, your body is a natural elastic. If you tense up, you're a rock. What happens if you hit rubber? It bounced back into place. What happens if you hit rock? It crumbles. Dick looked in confusion, but wonder. If you built enough muscle and train it hard enough, it can deflect when tensed. If I had more muscle and tensed, your hand would have been hurt. Naruto smirked. True, but even lead can bend. Listen, having more muscle slows you down. Instead of going for more strength, try gaining more speed. Instead of going for more speed, try gaining more strength. You have to build both, so you can strike with enough strength to deal damage, but not too much it slows you down, and be fast enough to strike faster opponents, but not being too weak to deal no damage. Combine both, and using my special training, I guarantee, even if you are hit by Superman, you'd hit him right back with no pain showing in a second flat. Dick looked at Naruto like he grew a second head. No one took a hit from Superman and came back that fast. And what Naruto was proposing since they met was all against what Batman told him, what he learned under Bruce. That struck him suddenly. He looked hardened, smirking. I think this will be good then. Teach me all you can, and don't hold back here. Naruto nodded, smirking more. Then get ready to have some fun. That's lesson number 1. With that, he and Dick charged at each other, and started a light sparring session, which Dick was losing. He knew he would lose, but if he didn't then he came to the wrong man anyway, so he was glad to lose this one, since it would help him beat KitsuneX. Little did he know though, the one training him to beat KitsuneX, was KitsuneX. To Naruto, this was a game, as well as a way to find solace. He seen in Dick the feelings of betrayal. He was rebelling now, the only reason he would be against what he was saying, and then flip all of a sudden. Naruto knew the feeling from sight alone, knowing Dick was betrayed, and he wanted to help him, to give him enough training to realize he needs to be his own person, and thus a better one too. It was going to be a long day for them, as Dick was going to learn how to have fun, even if it killed Naruto to do it. It wouldn't though, not a chance. Back at the HUH base. Jinx was fuming, steam rising off her head as she was pretty upset. No, not at Naruto, she understood that, but at a couple things. 1. Herself. 2. Shago's damn teasing, and then there was Cheshire who decided to make things worse. She was mad at herself. Because she pushed the issue, and that was not the right way to go. I look like his worst ex, and I try to put myself on him and show him some affection. He must have had some sort of vision about her that made him suddenly think I was gonna hurt him. Otherwise, why push me away and get nervous about it? She wanted to show him she truly cared and loved him, and she knew she had to go slow. Thing was, she tried to make out with him and put herself on him all in a single go, without realizing it because of her own lack of affection over the years she couldn't control herself, and he pushed her away for that. Shago was training in the gym, working on her martial arts skills. Jinx came in to get on the treadmill, and Shago seen this, huffing as she grabbed a towel. So, how was your little rendezvous with Naruto? Any good action, sis? Jinx pouted as she ran at half speed. Not really, I just tried to get him to relax after the harsh weather he had to endure and see why he was so tight-lipped. Though I did loosen those lips. She blushed hard as she slapped her hands over her mouth, and this caused her to lose track of herself and slip, falling on the mattress behind the treadmill, placed there because of that specific reason. Shago giggled as she bent over Jinx. I see. So, you got some kissing from the blonde hunk, huh? Jinx grumbled, getting up and started to walk off with a heavy red face, blushing like crazy. Shago giggled, smirking more. Hey, Jinx, just make sure when you two confess your feelings, you use protection. Jinx went totally rigid, and steam blew from her head, which was hot from the blushing and blood rushing up her body to give said blush its dark red color. She ran off, hearing Shago laughing at the teasing she gave. Cheshire was the least of the matters though, but was still crazy. Cheshire basically told her that she would have to buy sound-canceling headphones for everyone in case things got that heavy, and told Jinx not to kill him, or if the stamina they all seen drew to that activity as well, Jinx should be worried about herself dying from the pleasure. Jinx just ran off and locked herself in the hologram room and just tried to walk around in a huff, trying to keep herself from exploding in embarrassment and frustration. After all that though, she sighed, grumbling a little before going back to her room. I hope he can forgive me. All I want is to finally find someone who I can love and not accidentally break with my powers. That's so wrong to ask? She looked up as she laid back in her bed. Wonder if I should talk to him later. Maybe it would do some good to clear things up and try again, otherwise we'll be awkward for weeks on end. That will not bode well for either of us and our friendship. With that, she silently fell asleep, dreaming of ways to fix their friendship and grow closer. Chapter 17, Teams Gather, Starfire's Willpower Rises. Kia. Dick was currently training with Naruto. And getting his ass handed to him very badly. He currently was sent flying back and into the wall behind him. It's actually been a week since they began training, and Dick was improving, very much so. How much, you ask? Dick hit the wall, but planted his legs and jumped off, rushing to tackle Naruto, without even being in much pain truthfully, and managed to wrap his arms around Naruto in order to do so. Sadly, Naruto saw this and rose his arms up, slamming them hard down and forcing Dick to the ground on his knees. Dick gasped for a brief second, but jumped up wickedly fast, slamming his head into Naruto's chin, forcing Naruto backwards. Naruto groaned as he rubbed his chin, seeing that was the first hit Dick ever actually made on him ever since they began. Dick was woozy though, seeing as he slammed his skull, without actually thinking on it, into Naruto's jaw. That was a bad combination for Dick's first strike for this. Naruto chuckled as he stood still. Not bad, you are definitely making progress. I can definitely say you can build on what you learned whilst traveling like you said you wanted to. Keep driving towards what I taught you, and you'll soon be able to strike more blows against KitsuneX than you can imagine possible. Dick grinned, huffing as he sat down for the moment. That sounds like a swell idea. I guess it was tough, but at least I landed a hit in whilst training. Even if I didn't, I would have to leave to train tomorrow morning anyway. Thank you for indulging me for so long. Naruto smiled as he bowed. The honor is mine, to have seen such talent within you. You even found me within a minute yesterday in your ninja training, although I did only do what rumors Batman would have done, otherwise I am sure it would have taken you an hour to actually find me. Dick scoffed, smiling a little sadly. That's why I was thinking it was a bit easy. I'd been with Batman so long, I kind of knew his patterns enough to find you. I didn't think you'd copy his movements exact just from rumors, but I understand. You did what you could to help me. Naruto seen Dick stand up, grunting as he held his arm. I'll be seeing you when I finally find my path. Naruto came up, putting a hand on Dick's shoulder. He did feel for the kid, he really did. He wanted to bad to be his own man, his own hero, a person he could be proud of to make a difference without anyone's shadow hanging over him. He strove for what he believed. You'll find your way. I just hope when you do, that I'll be there to see it. Dick smiled at that, nodding as he put a hand out, and Naruto shook it. Dick turned and limped a little away before turning. Tell your friend that I will be coming back, harder than ever. He will see just how strong I am to bring him down. And with that, Dick rolled his shoulder and ignored his pain to run off. Naruto taught him enough to be a possible threat to KitsuneX's well-being in the future. He smirked as he imagined the fun he would have with that. I think I'll enjoy every punch, no matter if I am the one getting punched. Who knows, this may change everything, such as being capable of better things than I was. Or just makes it more fun to beat the crap out of him. Doesn't matter to me. He was pretty tired, and the damn headbutt smacked him pretty good, so he thought to get back to base and rest. They had planned a big heist in town, some much-needed release. Naruto has also been training the team in fighting, and improving their powers, and Gizmo has finally finished the new KitsuneX suit. It was time for a test run. Naruto went back to base, and sighed, opening the door to see such a mess. It's been restless without some kind of action, to say the least. Cheshire has gone off to train for a while in her skills, Private Hive and Kid were, once again, fighting over the last cookie. Gizmo and Mammoth were currently somewhere in the base doing something, but Jinx was causing a few little destructive causes, trying to pry Shago from the hairdryer. Naruto walked into the living quarters and seen Jinx fighting Shago for the hairdryer and caught it. Flip a coin, and whoever wins, gets to use it first. Excuse me. The only thing H hated about being a leader to this group with so many differences and not enough group activities. As he walked to see about Gizmo, Jinx decided to just hand the dryer to Shago and walk with him. Anything new? We've been cooped up here for a while. Naruto turned to her. Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's been crazy. New Titans, making sure everything is okay for us to go, need to make sure we are prepared, and the time is right. I know you and Shago have been getting hostile lately. Not to mention the one less member of the team. Jinx sighed. Cheshire's been uppity on her ninja skills, thinking after you wanting to do things your own way, and have us do things our own way, she would follow that step. But I get what you mean. We just want some kind of action, something to tide us over, something to do. You know? Shago's wanting to see what kind of lives we actually live, and she and I have been troubled about our powers. They have some kind of complementary property, as well as volatile. Who knows if it's her or me? Naruto smiled. Which is why I am going to go see Gizmo. After I get my new suit and try it on, I will call up everyone on the things I figured out for our first team heist. As for the powers thing, I've seen it happen a few times. You two are just that way. Both utilizing volatile powers and natural energies to condone your ways of using them. It's just how it is, and it's both of you, not just one. With a little work, you two can be a force to be reckoned with, even against me. Jinx giggled at that. She took him by the collar and brought him down, kissing him deeply. They had worked things out the night after the first encounter like this one, and they both worked out that it would be better for both of them if they were to experiment. Naruto picked her up and kissed deeply back, before they separated and walked together to Gizmo's room. Naruto knocked on the door and Gizmo called them in. Gizmo sighed. You know, when I first thought of this design for the first suit, it fried everything. I have since been able to figure out how to limit the flow of your toxic chakra, and just let it influence the suit. Thing is, you told me it was limitless. I had to bring conductors from inside to outside the suit, sensors, the whole works. Next thing I knew I had to redo the entire thing. Naruto rolled his eyes. What's your point, barf breath? Jinx giggled at that. Always funny to see the two plays around with such language. Gizmo turned, looking like he was ready to pass out. I'm saying it was a bitch to make sure you didn't fry yourself. I had to slap in a new system, everything, while still keeping to the Red X weapon systems, protection, and flexibility. I just need a test run and diagnostic, and we shall see if it is truly ready for my calibrations, or if we need a thing or two. Naruto hummed. Sounds like this brings up the right opportunity. Is it ready for testing today? Or tomorrow? Gizmo grinned. Don't you dare underestimate my genius, Pit Sniffer. Like I can do anything else for it besides assembly. That should be done in around 10 minutes. So, what's this plan you got? Naruto grinned then. Oh, a high-stakes robbery and heist, something you all will thoroughly enjoy. How's that sound? I'll give everyone 3 hours rest and another half an hour to get ready after I tell everyone. This way, you aren't tired, and we all get there just in time for the shifts to change, and the security is lowest. Gizmo nodded and turned back around to finish the helmet. You do that. I'll finish this in 10, and wake me when you are ready. Oh, and try not to make too much noise, it's already crazy seeing you two kissing everywhere. Jinx blushed and snapped at him with that. Hey, you can look away, it's our space, it's not like we're forcing you to look. Now get it done, get some sleep, and get ready for a heist. Naruto chuckled at that and walked out, Jinx following him. He looked to her as they walked out. You know, it's not like you can tell them to look away. Besides, it's our time, not like they should really matter. Don't let them rile you up any, they are just teasing. Jinx tapped his shoulder and then stopped him. Well, we've been through this, right? You seem to be a little inexperienced with the concept. Not that I hate the kissing, far from it, but I don't feel any passion from you. Sure, it's deep, it's caring, but you don't seem to have the heart for it. Naruto sighed as he looked to her. I told you about my life before this. Assassinations, convoy, war. I've been through terrible things in my past, and I am still young. Not to mention nearly dying since I was 4, and all the hatred and control people dumped on me. Passion? I haven't felt it, only heard of it. I told you of Sakura, and of Ino, and Temari wasn't nearly as bad as them, but still they all were evil cheating bitches. Trying to feel passion got me nothing but pain and suffering. Jinx sighed as she looked down. I know. I do, and I am sorry for pushing it on you. It's not like I don't have patience to wait for you to finally feel safe with me. I still wish I could do something to help. Besides, it's very embarrassing having people just stare and try to use it as a way to make us flush over their voyeurism. Thus, why I get heated about it. Naruto put a hand on her shoulder and smiled. Listen, I am in a different world, and the only reason for my old self to stay around is what's happened in my past, and my past following me here, aka the Konoha flunkies. Otherwise, I've changed since then. I will continue to change, until the me that is supposed to be set for life appears. Jinx sighed as she turned. You know, sometimes I hate your maturity. She turned to him with a small caring smile. But I think I can get used to it. A little maturity can go a long way, especially with how things may progress with us someday. Naruto's eyes widened as Jinx walked off, but with a little hitch in her step, and her hips swinging like he never sees from anyone else he's been with. He shook himself out of his trance, and smiled, starting to his room for meditation. I think, no matter her looks, she is totally different from Sakura. I enjoy that from her. Maybe I will try to bring out my passions once more. First, something to keep them at bay. And a cold shower as well, it would seem. With the Titans, training. The Titans have been training, working out missions, and Donna has been doing a damn splendid job of it. It took 3 days, and suddenly the team was looking to her as if she were Dick incarnate in planning. News was soon out all around Jump of the Titans Reborn for their new members. Superboy's been pushed as Superman's protege, or his upcoming replacement. Kid Flash was welcomed with open arms as a great humorous hero to help bring the people smiles, both during and after a disaster. Static was heavily helpful, he even powered the city a whole day after the 5th day's blackout, via Dr. Light's plot to bring the city to its knees. Jump City even gave Static a commendation, the Medal of Heroism and Beyond, which gave the Titans something to be proud of. Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy were a trio to be trifled with. Power, improvising, and powers that normally wouldn't compromise with each other, did so perfectly beyond what people thought. That was day 6, where their training under Donna had taken a rude awakening, and they soon made a greater team. Donna was run ragged, unlike what everyone else thought. Every night, she would go to her room, where she and the team agreed would be where she would sleep and stuff, and would sleep instantly. Training, figuring out everything Dick was doing and trying to do, how shit was done in Jump. It was mind-boggling. Her only thought, every night before she slept, was no one could handle all this with the resources so far. Dick is more like Batman than he cares to admit. Which was true, whilst untrue at the same time. The biggest, most shining example of overkill to the team was Starfire. She turned into something none of them seen before. They've seen her fight many villains, they see her battle, especially Cyborg, Beast Boy, and Raven, not to mention Robin, who faced her himself a long time ago. She turned into a hell of a warrior and hero. Donna, who was the new leader now, couldn't beat Starfire in their spars. The only one able to tire Starfire out was Superboy. He was half Kryptonian, and used more skill than Superman, who used more raw power, and yet Starfire had more skill as a warrior, and managed to tie, or win most of the time. They were, once again, sparring in training. Donna was with Superboy as they took on Starfire, whilst Static and Kid Flash faced against the trio, Raven, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. Static gave KF a boost with a little electroshock to his feet, which made Kid Flash dash faster, and he did, ramming into Beast Boy, who was rolled on the ground a little before he changed into a gorilla and slammed the ground, smashing the ground as Kid Flash rushed around. Cyborg ran after Static, which was normally not very smart, but he fired his sonic cannon full force to the ground, making his jump a boost. Static flew up to dodge it, but Raven was on him, grabbing his disc and pulling it from under him. Static hooked on with a bolt he created like a wire to swing from, and swung hard, speeding at Beast Boy. He slammed his feet into Beast Boy's gorilla chest, and shocked BB with a forceful shock, making Beast Boy shake violently. Cyborg fired at the ground in front of Kid Flash, and made the ground crumble and lift. Kid Flash jumped slightly and spun, his speed carrying him to Cyborg, but sadly, Cyborg aimed again and fired at him. Kid Flash was blasted into the air and away. Raven grabbed Cyborg and lifted him into the air as Static was flying back up to get at her. Cyborg blocked him, and he fired off another Electo Blast, making Cyborg jolt and freeze for a minute. Static flew past, but seen Raven wasn't there anymore. She helped Cyborg down as she flew around and ran to Beast Boy, who turned into a bird and was flying after Static. Static saw this and tried at him, but BB changed again, turning into a constrictor and wrapped around Static. Normally, this was the worst possible idea. But Static was just about to power up when BB unwrapped and changed again into a T-Rex. Static looked shocked, no pun intended, as BB's tail slammed him down into the ground. Kid Flash tackled Raven to the ground and he ran again, going to Cyborg. He trained with Dick a lot, so he knew how to battle. He seen Cyborg get back up, and soon was on him, spinning up and slamming a double rising heel kick into him, making Cyborg fly into the air. BB dropped as a hippo on Kid Flash though, knocking him out effectively. Static charged up and shocked BB back to normal and clung him to the ground before he rushed down, slamming a taser punch into Cyborg's stomach and bolting him to the ground, knocking him out effectively as well. Too bad, though, as Raven took Static's flying disc again, and this time, slamming it down on Static, and then lifting him up, and down into the ground. She sighed as she watched the battle nearby. Donna roared as she flew up to meet Starfire in the air. Starfire flew right back at her, and the two collided. Normally, super strength was mostly about bashing others, but Donna was trained as a warrior, and Starfire was from a world of warriors. They were going to use strength with skill. Donna went for a hip punch, as Starfire rolled over her. Donna turned to grab Starfire's, or really Dick's, cape, and only managed to see a fist slam into her face. Starfire was tackled by Superboy, who had jumped to catch her. Starfire was slammed into the ground, and turned after Superboy rose. She caught his foot, which was about to slam her deeper into a crater, and twisted it, and slammed a harsh snap kick into his back, forcing him off her. She rolled her feet up and pushed her arms on the ground, slamming a double heel kick into Donna's chest. Starfire rose and flew off to get some distance. Donna flew after her again, aiming to bring her down hard, but Starfire fired her Starbolt, a steady beam flying at Donna. Donna quickly flew up to dodge it, but Starfire fired her eyebolts as well, which caught her, flipping her back down. Superboy caught Donna and twisted her around before throwing her back up. Donna recovered enough to see Starfire rushing after her. She twisted and slammed her hands, cupped and grasped together, into Starfire's head, driving her to the ground. Superboy jumped up as Starfire flew to the ground. Starfire flipped and landed on her feet. The force was still enough to make a small crater, and she looked up to see Superboy drop on her. She caught his feet, but he had used Donna as a wall to gain the force required to force her into the ground hard. Starfire roared as she blasted Superboy into the air and flew fast, real fast, at Donna, and slammed a harsh hook into her face, and then grabbed her arm and twisted her around twice before throwing her into Superboy, who jumped to interfere. Both Donna and Superboy slammed into the ground, and Starfire was on them fast and harsh, once more, pounding them both, a hand and foot each, and beat them hard before flying back, making sure not to beat them too badly. Starfire huffed, and dropped to the ground, holding her arm which was pretty bruised by Superboy's super strength against her. Superboy was up, grunting as he held his head. Donna was sitting up, huffing. Starfire rose again, and was about to continue, when Donna relaxed. "That's enough for today. I think we shouldn't beat ourselves that much. We'll need it when more trouble comes our way. After a few minutes of waking those who were knocked out, and helping them inside, they found no really bad injuries, and only some pretty big bruising. They were in the living quarters and relaxing, talking to each other about how they did, and a few of them telling old stories of their heroics. Static was kind of interested in cyborgs, and Raven was wondering a little about Superboy. Something about him seemed different than she first thought. Donna looked as Starfire was getting something to drink, and went to her. Starfire. A word? Starfire nodded and turned fully to Donna. I never seen such fierce skill from anyone other than the major heroes. Batman, Wonder Woman. I'm a little curious, since you are a little distant, about where you came from. Starfire looked down a little, then back up. Robin leaving hurt this team, even if you are here to try and fill the role he left behind. You've been doing wonders with our teamwork, and I welcome that, but you can't just be friends with someone for a while and suddenly they leave, because someone doesn't want them to be who they are. Donna frowned at that, and looked down. She had considered that, seeing as everyone here knew and cared about Dick for an extended period of time. All of them watching him walk out the door in civilian clothes, because Batman didn't want him being Robin anymore, was painful to them all. It was a hard thing to accept. Donna put a hand on Starfire's shoulder. Listen, I know what you are talking about. We all cared about him, we all know him. We're all hurting, and Hera knows I am with you, but why should you grow distant from everyone else because of this? Would he have wanted that? Starfire glared at Donna for that remark, but soon softened up and turned. He would not, but he is not here, and that is why I am distant. I just need a time, which everyone needs at some point, and everything will be better. It's been a week, though, since he left. I cannot very well heal within a single week. Donna nodded at that and let Starfire relax. She needed a drink as well after this. The two girls seemed to have a strained relationship though, unlike the others with them. Donna could easily get along with KF, Superboy, Beast Boy, and Cyborg. Starfire with everyone but Donna, Kid Flash, and Superboy. Raven was currently just taking glimpses at Superboy though, thinking and wondering about him. Truthfully, she had this link to him, she was confused about it. It was like, his powers complemented hers in a way that she wasn't sure was possible. Raven was trying to figure him out. He was a mystery to her. He couldn't fly, he couldn't use heat vision, he was weaker than Superman, but he had other things that made him someone else, someone better. Superboy was kind of wondering why Raven was always looking at him. It wasn't a checking you out look, he got that from Miss Martian before she decided to break things up. No, this was a curious and wondering look, one that was suggesting her calculating what he was. Truthfully, in a week, they could do what was expected in the best condition of the current situation. A heavy blow to their team, and doing what they could as heroes even without the biggest part of their team. The Titans air strained, but not without a sense that they should still do their best. Like the old saying, they didn't have to like each other, just get along whilst they worked together. They would soon find out that they would have to work harder. It was also going to get bumpy, seeing as today was the day they would have to face the new and improved KitsuneX, and they were already bruised and shit from the sparring today. Donna was looking at the files on the villains, and keeping a close eye on the KitsuneX entry, making sure she knew everything about him to where she could figure a way to defeat him. She had only a single thought as she looked at the stats once more. Dick, I know you and this guy are heavy rivals, just like Batman and the Joker are, but if we must, we will have to take him down without you. I hope you will forgive us, but it's how you would want it, I think. With Naruto, 3 hours later. Naruto was in the living area, using the TV as the layout of his heist. He waited until everyone got in the area and smiled. Glad to see everyone. I know you guys have been very bored, and you all have been cooped up here in safety. Which is why I've found a great idea for our group. Pandora will pull a heist, and will beat the Titans. New or not, they still have to get through me in the end. Shago smiled. Finally, some action. Not that I don't mind your training, but it's not exactly plentiful. Naruto nodded. I realize this, but who knows how screwy the Titans' teamwork is now with all the bullshit they have. I heard that Robin left the team, so they should suffer a bit of a loss, not to mention having only a week since they got together. They shouldn't be able to complement each other very well. How wrong he was. Mammoth rose a hand. Question, what kind of heist are we pulling? Money? Jewels? Naruto shrugged. I figured everyone could get whatever they wanted. From being with you guys so long, most of you would enjoy money, and lots of it. I myself would like some collectibles and antiques as well as something to enjoy. Which is why I've picked 2 targets. He turned the TV on to the map of the city. He pointed to the biggest bank in Jump City. This is where most of our forces are deployed. They just got a new shipment of gold bars and bills the other day. Mammoth, you and Private Hive will be the muscle to take anyone I can't stop and beat them, or delay them enough for the rest of the team to get away. Kid, you're their getaway. Everyone nodded and he pointed to the next location. This is my area. This is a perfect place for me to get some things I liked when I passed it by the other day, and it's also strategically located to protect everyone. It's between the Titan's Tower and the bank, which is a good way away from each other. I'll grab some of the things I want, send a team of clone to meet up with you, and you guys get away if I can't seem to hold all of the Titans. Jinx stood up. I'll be there to help you. Who knows how tough they really are, and you enjoy skills rather than power, so it would be best to make sure they can't overpower your skill. Naruto nodded at that. Fine by me. Any questions? 'Cause unless you want something else, I think we should wrap it up and get ready for our first team heist. He got no complaints, none, and he nodded again. Good. Get set, people. Gizmo, let's go see about my new suit. They all went to get set to go, and Naruto went with Gizmo, Jinx as well. Naruto was quite impressed by the new suit's look. It was like the old one, but this time a more menacing look. Its helmet had the same design, but this time it had black instead of white, and the red X on it as always. The bodysuit of it looked sleek, a massive red X on the chest as well as an easier way to get into the thing. It had the arm sheaths and back sheath, but what really made Naruto a little surprised was the cape. Instead of the normal design, it had 9 threads falling from the lower back to behind his knees. Gizmo explained. Listen up, dumbass, this thing has 2 layers of titanium cloth, a concentrated layer of dragon skin, which I recreated to handle your damn energy, and I had to use the rest of the new steel you got from me, which gives you maximum protection in key areas, but overall, more vulnerable spots. The skin itself, what you stole, could actually handle 500 degrees over or below Celsius. I generated it to be able to handle twice as much on each side of the temperature spectrum. Gizmo took the helmet and tossed it to Naruto. This thing is way better. All the visionary components you can imagine. The only visions I didn't put in were obvious ones, such as laser and heat vision. It also goes by voice command, but this time around you can press the button on the left ear and use it to silence any command you say, that way you don't ruin your stealth cover. Naruto grinned. Gizmo, you are a genius as always. Let's put this on. And roll out for our big heist. Naruto started putting it on and had a single thought. The Titans will be thoroughly surprised. With the Titans. The alarm suddenly sounded off, as the team were about to call it a night. Donna pulled up the alert and looked a little shocked. We got a lot of trouble here. It says here the Hive is sticking up a bank. They're stealing the new gold bars and bills transferred there. And 2 people are spotted at the highest security antique mall, and one of them is confirmed as KitsuneX. Starfire narrowed her vision. We should focus on KitsuneX, he is the most dangerous of them all. Donna turned to Starfire. I agree he is the most dangerous of them, but we have to stop all of them. Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy, you take on the team in the bank, everyone else on me. We'll take on KitsuneX. Titans, move out. The team rushed off to stand their ground against Pandora, and Starfire was fiercely looking forward to fighting and beating KitsuneX, once and for all. One thought was in her mind as she raced to the mall. I won't let you down, not now, not ever, I promise you this with all my might, Dick Grayson. Oh make, potential Titan? Calder was returning to Atlantis from his trip to Jump to help Dick with the ice villain situation. He had asked Garth to take his place, and asked Aquaman permission to leave the city to answer the urgent call. He re-entered Atlantis streets and swam up to the guards. Calder of the Imperial Guard, returning from my urgent business on the surface. Please let me through. Procedure had the guards checking him for any devices or equipment other than what he logged, and was clean, as always. Calder was swimming back to see Aquaman on the throne, but only seen his wife, Mara. My queen, I have returned. I am sorry my business with my friend and former partner Robin kept me away for so long. Please forgive my negligence. Mara put a hand up, smiling softly. Nothing has happened as of late, so it is quite alright for your absence to take a little longer than you might have suspected. I do, however, wish to know how your former partner is doing, as I heard a rumor through a school of krill that Robin had been abandoned by Batman. Calder looked shocked. I do not understand. Robin has always been a great ally to Batman, and an even greater hero than Batman may like to admit. If Batman abandoned Robin, then I did not know, and will have to go back to understand fully. But I cannot leave my post again, that would be unbecoming of an Imperial Guard to your ladyship. Mara stood and came to Calder, putting a hand on his shoulder. There is no need to apologize, and you are setting a fine example. Your powers and skills as an Atlantean warrior, water sorcerer and as an Imperial Guard to the throne is beyond what even Garth could accomplish, and you care deeply for everyone in Atlantis, as well as me and my husband. That is quality and loyalty that is rare to come by in the depths of this vast sea, where many may turn to seek evil intent on us and on the surface dwellers. Calder bowed deeper. Thank you, my queen, for everything you have given me. I cannot fathom the DPTHS of your kindness, or the greatness within this city to give someone like me a chance. Mara went back to her throne. You may be the son of the greatest evil of the sea, but you are not the greatest evil of the sea. You may be the seed of Black Manta, but you are still Atlantean in heart and spirit, and will always be a part of our family, not his. I do believe you need to relieve Garth of his duties, and return to your post? When our king returns from his mission with the League, I will ask for more information, and if, indeed, Robin has been abandoned, then I will gladly allow you access to go see for yourself. You do seem like you need a vacation, though. Maybe you should set another date with your love? Calder smiled up to Mara, nodding. Thank you, my queen, for everything you have given me. I will never let you down, for I swear to the almighty Poseidon and Neptune that Atlantis continues to prosper and keep its peace for all time. Mara waved him off with a smile, and he bowed deeper before swimming off. He would have to wait a day or two before asking for his vacation enough to ask his love for a date. She had dumped him and broke his heart, but after returning, and Garth being the one swimming off to adventure, she was heartbroken as well. Calder helped heal her broken heart, even if she may never heal his. She did though, and he would treat her well, his Tula returned. He seen Garth, a black-haired young man with a blue scale suit, not unlike Aquaman's orange and green suit, but being blue and black instead, blue torso and black bottoms. Calder set his feet on the ground near Garth and Garth smiled. Welcome back. I thought you'd take longer, but I suppose seeing Dick again was nostalgic. Calder smiled. It was. He frowned instantly after that. Seems, though, that after I had left to return here, Dick was abandoned as Robin by Batman. I do not know the full details, but our queen promised me answers as soon as our king returns. But, it is as you said. Dick was part of a team of young heroes. Garth smirked as he stood up, as he was leaning on a wall before. I told you. Beast Boy and me had a little of a rivalry going when they helped me with that little problem a while back. What took you though? You seem to have a few minor bruises. They would usually heal after a long trip back. Calder Calder frowned more. I had to help them face against all 5 of the major ice villains that invaded Jump City. Killer Frost, Mr. Freeze, Icicle Sr. and Jr., and Captain Cold. Dick was heavily, and is still heavily, outmatched on the surface. He needs more help than he has already accumulated, even more than Donna, Wally, and Connor. Garth looked confused. Even with Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, and Superboy, he's outmatched? How so? Calder shook his head. A powerful being of immense power, able to take on all 5 villains at the same time and still going strong. Word has it that he even beat Batman. He is no hero, but a thief, and he is very dangerous. Garth hummed in thought, and after a few seconds he smirked. I think I should pay them a visit, maybe see for myself how great this adversary is. I do owe them for their help, so it shouldn't be too much trouble to return the favor. Calder put a hand on Garth's shoulder. If you do go to see them, please be careful. This adversary is stronger than you can imagine. I still cannot believe the power he's shown whilst facing Killer Frost and the others. Garth nodded, putting a hand on Calder's shoulder as well. Thank you for caring, my friend. Take care, and keep Tula happy, as I could not. Be well, my brother. With that, Garth swam off to train again before asking permission to go to the surface. It would be a long trip, though. Chapter 18, Titans vs. Pandora, the heist is pulled. Naruto slid his new suit on, the black and red tint design, the huge red X on the chest, and the 9-flap cape behind him. He couldn't zip the back though, he had to use chakra to clip it and lock it around his body, and he did so, the clamps snapping shut and snugly fitting him. Naruto put his arm swords in their new sheaths and the main one in the new sheath in the back before he grabbed his new helmet, seeing the new design. It was like an actual fox head with a big red X on it, a darkened outline for the head's covering. He slipped it on and used chakra to snap the thing shut over his head, and smiled, seeing it fit perfectly. He charged the suit up and the helmet brightened up inside, and he whistled. Gizmo certainly went the extra mile. Biometrics, armor sensors for damage, location sensors for my swords. Naruto then used his mental commands to switch every single filter for vision and grinned. This is awesome. He turned to Jinx, who was waiting for him, and blushed. Apparently, Naruto forgot to switch back to normal vision, as he had selected the penetrative vision, and saw under Jinx's clothes. He looked away and smirked a bit. This suit is awesome. He turned back to her after switching to normal vision. Oh, and sorry. I selected the vision that looked under your clothes the first time I looked. Jinx blushed crimson red and then covered herself. Naruto chuckled lightly. I'm not looking anymore. It was an accident, a happy one, but an accident nonetheless. You look pretty sexy though, good on you. Jinx blushed more before slapping his arm hard, knowing the padding would protect him anyway. Pervert. She smiled up at him and blew a kiss at him, winking. But I don't mind as long as it's you. She started walking to the team gathered in the living room. Naruto went and got them ready before they all teleported thanks to Kid, going to both destinations quickly. The heist was starting. With the Titans, 5 minutes later. Donna was carrying Superboy as she, Static, and Starfire were moving quickly to keep up with Kid Flash speeding on the ground to meet with KitsuneX, with Raven and Beast Boy, Raven carrying Cyborg, were heading out to the bank. Donna looked to Starfire. Here's the plan, you rush in and distract him, and I will drop Superboy on top of them. Sound good? Starfire nodded. The cape Dick gave her flapping in the wind as she got ready to fight. Donna seen KitsuneX, or a newly outfitted one, standing on a tall rooftop, waiting for them it seemed. Starfire roared and swiftly rushed him, firing starbolts into him. That was weird though, as they hit their mark, and he vanished into smoke. Starfire stopped and looked around. KitsuneX isn't here. It was one of his clones. I think he is distracting us instead. Let us make haste, before he gets away. Naruto looked back at the direction his clone was at and then to Jinx. Jinx, you done shopping? He takes her here and she suddenly loves the stuff in the shop. She was grabbing jewels and even grabbed a, as labeled, black magic statue and was black and gold and shaped like a bird, like a phoenix maybe. Jinx put that away quick and gave her bag to the clone. Sorry, I was having a ball. We should get before the Titans come. Too late. She looks to see Wonder Girl, Starfire, with a cape now, Superboy, and Static were flying in, and a yellow and red blur coming in fast from the ground, being Kid Flash. Crap. They had to send in their best to take you. Naruto grinned and turned to her. I enjoy the challenge. You can leave if you want. Jinx grinned back and shook her head. No way. I'm not leaving my leader or friend behind to this mess. She got ready and Naruto turned to his clones grabbing all the bags and nodded, and they instantly teleported to base, where he stored a Hiraishin kunai. He noticed that Donna's grip was bad. Or she planned on dropping Superboy, and that was a bad thing. He grinned. Jinx, be a deer and erupt the ground in front of us in 3, 2, 1. Jinx grinned and charged a big hex bolt and fired it in a big wave in front of them, the ground darkening a little. Donna had dropped Superboy, and then the big wave hit, and Starfire caught him. Kid Flash, watch out. Superboy looked up to her. Let me go. I was about to shake them off the ground for the strategy. He seen as Kid Flash ran straight for them, and the ground cracked under him and he tripped on a ledge that popped up and spun him, slamming him into the ground. Superboy looked surprised. Oh. Thanks. Kid Flash groaned as he got up and looked to the two. That'll teach me to not listen to the former team's suggestions? Truthfully, because of training, getting to know each other, and fighting crime together, they didn't get into too much detail on every single villain. Jinx, Mammoth, and Gizmo were 3 of the 5 that weren't mentioned to them yet. The Titans landed and Donna turned to Starfire. Jinx has control over Loctite? How was she able to make the earth crack like that? Starfire glared at KitsuneX. Kid Flash's chances to make it safely over that were simply lowered. It was structurally unsound and it burst when he stepped on it because that is how her magic works. Static hummed and thought. I see. So, we should tread cautiously. Bad luck magic and KitsuneX's own power? This will be tough. With the rest of Team Pandora. Mammoth groaned as he put more bars up for Kid to transport. Sorry, that's the rest. I think this is enough though, because this will be filling up a lot of empty space. We shouldn't be too greedy. Shago was grinning as she came out with more money. Oh, this is good. I never had a success this huge. I am so glad I joined you guys, no stupid little girl wanting to take me on just because I don't feel like being a hero. Gizmo heard his pack go off and growled. Crap. Damn Titans are here. Kid, get the loot. Shago grinned and punched her hand, walking to the entrance. Let's see if they live up to their hype. You guys go, I want to take him on. Mammoth looked as Kid started teleporting the shipment to base and then to Gizmo. Last chance to leave before they arrive. Think we should go? Gizmo grumbled a bit, thinking of possibilities. He screamed as he rubbed his head. Damn it! If we leave Shago here alone, Naruto kills us and we regret it before he even tries. We stay here, we're as good as done for. No doubt the new Titans are going to be here. Private Hive rushed in. 3 Titans, sir. Raven, Beast Boy and Cyborg. He came up. I don't see anyone else, no Robin and no Starfire, sir. Mammoth thought about this real quick before nodding to Gizmo. We can take them. Besides, Naruto's been jacking up our training, so even if the Titans are better, we aren't slouches. They had been training for the last week, on all their strengths helping their weaknesses vanish. Gizmo sighed but nodded. Fine. Private, Mammoth, Zeta Strike. Shago, with me on Delta formation. Go! Private Hive and Mammoth ran outside quickly as Shago and Gizmo went out the back. Outside, Raven, Cyborg and Beast Boy landed and seen Mammoth and Hive. Cyborg aimed his sonic cannon. "Give yourselves up, and maybe we'll go easy on you." Mammoth chuckled. "Sorry metalhead, not gonna happen." Hive. He grabbed Hive and threw him at Cyborg, Hive's shield going up as he flew like a missile at Cyborg. Beast Boy turned into a gorilla and caught Hive, falling back and slamming him into the ground as Cyborg jumped on Beast Boy's raised legs. Beast Boy kicked Cyborg into the air and Raven picked up a nearby empty car and threw it at Mammoth. Before Cyborg could fire at the car, though, he was hit by a glowing green hand and slammed into the ground, and Gizmo tackled Raven down as well. Beast Boy got up and turned back. "Not good." "See why, Raven?" Cyborg got up and growled, Raven slamming a mailbox into Gizmo to get him off and flies by them. He looked at them. Motion 78. Gizmo aimed some rockets at Beast Boy as Private Hive reared his shield back. Raven seen this started her spell. Azarath, Metrion, Zinthos. She picked Mammoth up and threw him at Gizmo. Gizmo jumped into the air and fired at Beast Boy, Mammoth hitting the ground and grabbing a concrete slab from the street and smacking Cyborg with it as he came around at him. Cyborg was in the air, but Beast Boy was there, catching him and throwing him at Private Hive. Just as he was about to hit Private Hive, Shago landed on his shield just as he threw it out to hit with, firing her from it fiercely. Shago's hands glowed green as she threw a fist at Cyborg, his own crashing against her. Sadly, she wasn't about to try flesh against skin, and generated an explosive blast of her energy between them, making Cyborg fly back and into the air. Raven caught him before he went through a building, but Mammoth caught her legs and slammed her into the ground before throwing her to Gizmo. Gizmo catching her in a high-tensile steel cable. He grinned. "Take that, you pit sniffers." Shago landed and looked around. "Where's the third one? The green kid?" She hadn't waited any longer, as the ground under them burst out, a giant T-Rex coming from within the ground before turning into a kangaroo and jumping on top of Private Hive, slamming him into a crater in the ground. Shago tackled him and slammed a fist into his stomach before kicking off him and into the air, flipping before landing on her feet. "Damn, should have known. Come on, kid, get your fill." Mammoth ran to help Shago out, but Cyborg landed on top of him and slammed him to the ground, and pointed his blaster to his face. "Freeze." Raven picked Gizmo into the air and dismantled his equipment, and he was left with only his hands. She wrapped him up in the same cable he tried on her and hummed. "Ironically, you're a victim of your own tech. Who's smart now?" Shago cursed, looking behind her to see Raven, and in front to see Beast Boy in gorilla form. "They're better than I thought. Damn, we should have just left. Wait, what did Naruto tell me?" She remembered during their training the other day that he told her something important as she had to face 5 of him at once. He said facing multiple opponents stronger than you, don't hold back, and don't think about your next move. Act quick, use your gut and fire off all your power. Chances are, they will not see it coming. She grinned before standing tall, letting her energy draw back into her body. Beast Boy a Raven went to subdue her, but she yelled, turning and aiming her energy hands at them both, firing off rapidly with multiple projectile blasts. Raven flew up into the air as Beast Boy got hit, being so close to her and not as fast as Raven. She slammed her hands into the ground and the very ground exploded under her, blasting debris everywhere. Cyborg jumped out of the way of some debris coming right at him, but Mammoth grabbed his leg and slammed him into one of the rubble boulders, smashing him to the ground from the force as he got knocked out. Mammoth rose up and grabbed Gizmo, rushing to Hive. "Shago, cover me." Beast Boy turned into a rhino and rushed him, but Shago blasted him with an explosive blast from her hands, and firing projectiles all over the sky at Raven, who dodged and shielded herself over and over. Mammoth grabbed Hive and started running. "Let's go. Backup is here." Shago looked up as Naruto, or what they didn't know yet was actually a clone, came from the sky and landed near them. She grinned. All yours. She rushed off with the team and let Naruto take them. Naruto simply threw his Hiraishin kunai and teleported behind Raven, slamming a Rasengan into her back, and then to Beast Boy and kicking him hard in the head. He puffed into smoke after the others left, all of them making it back to base easily. With Naruto, Jinx, and the rest of the Titans. Superboy took a deep breath and blew hard. A chilling cold swept in front of him and turned the ground into ice as it came to Naruto. Naruto jumped up and fired his first wrist blade out at him. Unlike Batman, who dodged it, Superboy caught it. That was a mistake, but not Superboy's, as Naruto teleported to him and Superboy slammed a harsh hook into his chest, forcing him back and skidding along the ground. Naruto landed on his knees and leaned forward on all fours, coughing a bit. Okay, note to self. Don't take on super strength without some of your own. Ugh. Wonder Girl landed on the ground hard and then rose with a kick to his chin, sending him into the air speedily. Naruto groaned as he tried to regain himself, but suddenly found himself zapped to the roof of the tall building he flew up. Naruto groaned but regained himself. Damn. Guess I underestimated you guys. Sorry, won't do that again. He teleported to the sword, bring unstuck from the building as he did, and picked Superboy up and swung him around. Catch. He threw him at Starfire, whom was flying right at him from above, and she caught him, swinging him back around and back to the ground. Naruto jumped up and used Superboy as a springboard as he flipped and kicked Starfire into a nearby building and then standing on the air. He looked as Jinx was currently in trouble against Kid Flash. Come on, I taught you better than that, Jinx. Jinx just watched him go round and round. KF grinned. Come on, you think you can get me again with your magic? I won't fall for that twice. Jinx smirked and jumped high into the air, landing on the roof and slamming her hands in the edge, vibrating it with her magic. Kid Flash stopped in time to see the roof collapse from above him. She fired a huge hex bolt into the lamps ahead and jumped back into the air, aiming for Naruto. The lamps burst and electricity sparked around, trapping Kid Flash between it and the rubble. He instantly got buried though. Superboy burst from the rubble himself, having fell into the tunnels below and watching from inside. He cleaned off the rubble and pulled Kid Flash up. He groaned. Superboy, remind me to run faster than lightning one day. Superboy smirked. If we make it out of here. He let KF walk and looked to see Jinx flying at Starfire, via Naruto throwing her, and then catching Wonder Girl in midair with a grapple. We gotta bring the A-game, let's go. Naruto grinned as he grappled with Wonder Girl, feeling her strength. Well, guess you're tougher than you look. Good, you'll need to be to face me. He pulled her in and slammed a knee into her stomach, slamming an elbow into her back afterwards. He grabbed her before she could fly down and lifted her up to a slamming fist into her face and then let her fly into the rubble below, and gasped, seeing Superboy jump at him at high speed. Naruto turned out of the way as Superboy lunged, but failed to expect him to be good at martial arts, as he grabbed Naruto and slammed a kick into his chest and making him fly down into the ground and into a crater. Jinx had slammed her Hexbolt hands into Starfire's Starbolt hands, and the clashing energies slammed them both back, Jinx flying over the roof of the shop they had robbed, and was caught by one of the clones nearby. She nodded and looked around for the real one, and saw him getting up from a crater as Wonder Girl ran for him, Kid Flash rushing up a skyscraper to get at them. Jinx jumped from the clone and fired off a hex bolt to the glass in front of Kid Flash, making it shatter as soon as she stepped on it. He started to fall soon after, but vibrated his arms outward to shove the air until he could touch the glass again and started running down. Wonder Girl jumped and landed in the crater, but Naruto was not there, but behind her. She cursed and turned, only to find him starting his attack, kicking hard to her side. Wonder Girl caught it, grunting a bit as she finally felt his strength without being knocked back, and it was impressive still. She grabbed his leg and rose him up, but he rolled back and slammed a kick into her chin, making her fall back and letting go. Naruto pushed off the air and slammed a hell into her stomach and then jumping, getting out of Superboy's way as he landed on top of Wonder Girl, but not touching her. Naruto teleported his sword into his hand and pointed it to Superboy. You've got some punch. I'm still sore from the first one you gave me. So, you're Superboy? I guess you can't do much like the big man. But you know, you're presenting me with a challenge I cannot help but want. Superboy got ready for a fight. I would rather not be compared to Superman. I may have the shield, but I am far from just some sidekick. You'll see soon enough I can be my own person. Superboy charged fast and threw a right hook. Naruto dodged it and backed up, and seen him strike again with a flying roundhouse, and landing with a spinning sweep kick before rushing with another right hook, and Naruto ducked, jumped, and spun around the strikes, and slashed his sword into Superboy's chest, cutting into his shirt and the shield and forcing him back. Superboy still stood and growled. Naruto hummed. Not bad. You're fierce, determined, fast and strong. But you lack the grace or the subtlety to be a threat to me when I fight with speed and skill. Still, if you manage to get lucky, you'll knock me around like a ragdoll. Like this. Naruto turned only to see Starfire tackle him and force him into a building, and pummel him with star bolts as they went through the entire block of buildings before slamming a double fist into him and into the sky. She flew up and then down, slamming both heels into him and driving him into a crater in the street before blasting him with her eye bolts. She stopped as Static came up to her and he seen him smoking a bit. Phew, that's some fire. Did you get him? His only answer was a hex bolt making his disc flew off without him and him landing on the ground. Jinx had ran off to help, as Wonder Girl and Kid Flash had been smashed by a falling building, but Kid Flash managed to make it though, climbing on the top of it and running around to meet them. She flipped up and slammed a double hell kick into Starfire, but she flew up from the force and fired a few star bolts at the unlucky girl. Wonder Girl smashed through the rubble, but suddenly she was clotheslined by Naruto, who had gotten up from the crater and rushed her. He flipped out of the way as Static tried to shock him. Well, that electrical shit is interesting, but that won't hit me twice. Static's electrical string was still going and Naruto was curious, before gasping and looking to see a light post come and curl around his body. He grunted as he was tied up. He looked to see Superboy rush him and slammed a heel into his stomach, then uppercut his chin before grabbing his front and slammed his head into Naruto's helmet, and then swung him, tossing him into the air. Wonder Girl was there to catch him and did, grabbing him and flying down. She slammed him into the ground and leapt from the crater she created. She sighed. There, that should do it. Jinx slammed her hand into the ground and forced the ground around her to crumble, smacking Kid Flash into it and then making it erupt, and forcing him into the ground and building, knocking him out for a bit. Starfire came and punched her in the gut, making her bowl over, and then slammed her to the ground, standing over her. Jinx and Naruto lay in rubble and craters. Static went to go help Kid Flash. Well, I think we did well. All that extra practice and all that brilliant leadership put us ahead of KitsuneX. Think so? I see we only got started. They all looked as Naruto climbed from his crater. Sorry to disappoint. Superboy and Wonder Girl are strong, but no way in hell I can be beaten that easily. I faced far worse. He suddenly burst from his restraints and a red cloak wrapped around him, one of the flaps of his cape curling into a tail behind him. Let's go. Naruto grabbed his main sword and teleported his free one from the shop to him again and slashed hard, a powerful wind coming around him and forcing Wonder Girl and Starfire into the air and away, Superboy gripping the ground to stay put, but Static rolling a Vans hitting the wall of a building nearby. Jinx got up and coughed. Damn, she was never that rough before. She's definitely pissed off. She looked to see Naruto using one tail and two swords and smiled. Time to turn the tables then. She quickly leapt up and rushed to Static, firing a hex bolt above him to the windows and mortar, and it fell on top of him. Static had discharged a dome around him, she saw, to stop the rocks. She didn't care, and jumped on top of it, vibrating the rocks with her hex shock, and suddenly an electric burst came forth, bursting the rocks and forcing her back. She got up and looked to see him twitching, but groaning. He got up weakly and walked off. She smiled. He's running on empty. She jumped up high and slammed into him hard, forcing him down before slamming a fist into him and knocking him out. She instantly ran to Naruto. Naruto grabbed Wonder Girl and slammed her into Superboy, and jumped up as Starfire tried to crash into him and into the ground. He pushed from the air and kicked Starfire, only to have her twist and slam a forceful kick to his head and knock him back a few feet. Wonder Girl threw Superboy at Naruto as he got up, but Naruto slashed hard again, cutting more into his shirt and slamming him to the ground. Naruto knew only one thing about Kryptonians and the so-called supers of Metropolis: they were invulnerable, never cut or bruised for anything. This may be a little tougher than I thought. He ducked as Starfire came upon him again, but she threw a punch and stopped, landing on her feet. She spun and slammed a heel into his chest, forcing him back and flying at him again. He blocked her punch with the side of his blade and turned, letting her throw the second punch before slashing at her. Thing was, she flailed the cape and its cloth made a nice parry against his blade, and then rushed a left jab into his face. He leaned back and let it touch him slightly before turning around it and rushing in, slashing into her chest. She was forced back and groaned as she skids along the ground. She glared at him and rushed him fast, and he ducked under her. She stopped and dropped a hell into his head, forcing him to the ground. "This is for Robin." She slammed a harsh punch into his back and then another, punching him hard again and again into a deeper and deeper crater before flying up high. She then dropped, flying downward with incredible speed as she tried to knock him out. He was tough, and she had to be tougher. She was just about to slam into him, when Jinx tackled her and forced her into a crater, and used her hex magic to break the place and send Starfire crashing into the sewers, jumping up and rushing to Naruto. Jinx grunted as he held her arm, a little pulled out of place from grabbing a rushing Starfire like that. "Come on, get up." Naruto groaned and a second flap of the cape turned into a tail, and he got up. Damn, she's fierce. She must really love Robin. He looked to see Superboy and Wonder Girl charging again, and seeing them as the only two. 2-on-2, nice odds. Superboy started punching at him, making him dodge and block with his swords as Wonder Girl went for Jinx. Jinx flipped over her and went to follow. "Ain't taking me down without a fight, Wonder Blunder." Naruto put his swords away and charged a Rasengan, slamming it into Superboy's stomach and forcing him back. He turned to Jinx. "Remember, speed and precision, don't pull your punches." Jinx ducked as Wonder Girl raced at her, backing off and rapidly shaking every kick and punch as she kept going. Naruto made sure to keep everyone with speed and skill, as long as they had that they could face equal terms with the Titans even if they too trained. Superboy roared, and this time, he suddenly turned around with his attacks. He kicked straight for Naruto's groin and stomach, no need for limbs or head with his blows. He wanted to break Naruto for this. Naruto caught each one, letting his body move past slightly to let the blows drive around, letting the force diminish before letting go of each strike. He jumped back and sighed, rubbing his hands. "Damn, you're not too shabby. More actual training, you'll be a greater force to deal with. Sorry, but this is the end. Can't pull a heist and expect to lose to heroes like you, can we?" Naruto gained a third tail and was on Superboy like white on rice, his hands swirling in chakra as if his hands were as he slammed them into Superboy harder and harder, running and charging as he punched Superboy backwards. Naruto roared as he drew his sword and slashed down with incredible force, smashing Superboy's head into the ground and through it, into the tunnels below, the ground slicing into pieces from his sword. He went back to normal and put his sword back, looking to see Jinx finish hers. Wonder Girl and Jinx were facing off, Jinx keeping her hands ready for her magic, and Wonder Girl ready to get physical. Usually, the magical won out, but who knew when Jinx wanted to prove her skills in combat to Naruto? Wonder Girl was a warrior, thanks to training with her mentor and the other Amazons. She rushed with a spinning high kick, which she used to lift herself and slam her heel up for a diversionary strike. Jinx ducked under and flipped backwards, dodging them both before rushing in and sliding on the ground, between Wonder Girl's legs. Wonder Girl looked shocked and turned, but seeing Jinx push herself up on her hands and slammed both heels deep into Wonder Girl's stomach. She landed on her feet and jumped, spinning before landing on the ground where Wonder Girl once lay, but she had rolled off and gotten up, rushing in for the next strike. Jinx rolled around it and spun fast, then rammed an uppercut into Wonder Girl's chin, forcing her up and back. Jinx ran up and jumped high. This is it. She slammed down on the ground, slamming both hands into Wonder Girl's stomach, knocking the wind from her, making her groan. Jinx ran off and got to Naruto. Now's the time to go, we outstayed our welcome. Naruto nodded and teleported them both back to base. Starfire burst from the ground, Superboy following behind, and she looked around. They're gone. They got away. Static groaned as he stood up. That was rough. I doubt we could have gotten them anyway, seems KitsuneX is training his team good. Ow. Wonder Girl sighed and grunted as she got on her feet, holding her stomach. This was a failure. Let's go see about the others and get back to the tower. We'll need time to heal from this. Superboy and Starfire went to help Kid Flash and Static, Wonder Girl going to see about the other Titans. She seen they were pounded into the ground and woke them up before they all went back to the tower. With Naruto and Team Pandora. Everyone was enjoying the spoils of their success, Shago flipping through some of the cash as Mammoth lifted the gold around, as a workout and as a way to feel the weight of their success. Gizmo was grinning and counting every single cent, with Kid staring at the bars intently. Private Hive was trying to stick some gold bars on his shield, weirdly, and Naruto and Jinx were on the couch. They were hit harder than anyone else here. Shago went to them. Hey, how was your trip? Successful? Naruto rubbed his head. Yeah, we got everything, and got hit pretty hard. Superboy got a few hits in. Jinx groaned and held her stomach. And Starfire was much more vicious than normal. Think the loss of Robin made her freak out? Naruto looked at her. She must be in love with him. Only thing I can imagine. Team heist success though, and we should rest and enjoy the spoils. Everyone partied that night to their huge success. With the Titans. Everyone was currently resting. Starfire came in to see Donna. Donna sat up, grunting as she held her stomach. Hey, Star. You okay? Starfire nodded and looked down. I am sorry, I went overboard and failed to follow your plans. It was my fault KitsuneX escaped. Donna smiled sadly. It's my fault. I should have been more helpful. You did all you could, you even did something I could barely believe, you knocked him around like a rag doll. Little more training, a little more teamwork, and we'll be able to take him. Starfire nodded and sighed. I still wish I had not fell through so much earth thanks to Jinx making me unlucky enough to do so. I will try harder. We should rest a few days and get ready for the next time. Donna nodded and smiled. I'm glad you'll try harder. Maybe now we can be closer, this way we can be a better team. Starfire nodded and left, Donna smiling and resting. Guess it wasn't a total loss today. Starfire is more open. With that said, she slept, everyone else sleeping as well to regain their strength, for round 2 that was coming soon enough. Chapter 19, Victors Celebrate, Losers Plan. It was success fever at Pandora HQ, everyone checking their loot. Shago counting her hundreds. 110 bens, 111 bens. Having too much fun finally succeeding. Kid was just enjoying his bag of gold bars in his hands. Mammoth was currently juggling 10 massive bars of gold in the air, and everyone wondered how on earth he learned to juggle, because they never seen him do it. Private Hive was kind of not in the living room, preferring to stash his gold in a chest in his room. Gizmo was enjoying his bags of money and gold and calculating how much he could get in the black market to help him and the team succeed even more. He even planned a way to give the team a better relaxation area. Jinx was enjoying her collected items, a black phoenix statue, some jewelry she had found, and even a small knife that looked like it fit her. It had an incantation in Latin that read, and there was a verified note she's seen, "Lucky is dark magic." Naruto was in his room, putting everything he obtained in order. The shop had a great assortment of items, and these were no exception. He put a traditional Japanese sword, made from the famed steel back years ago when it was still available. It was in superb condition. It was also a kodachi, whilst he also had a pair of nunchaku, made from solid bamboo. The prize of his collection of weaponry was actually the strangest item he had gotten. It was a very old, very fantasy-like, but authentic sword from Japan. It was not a normal sword. The blade was double-sided, having ridges longways on the blade, and if you counted the pieces between the ridges as it got thinner from middle to edges, it would count 9. This thing also thinned a little at the guard and grew wider and bigger as it went up the blade until it curved in and made a piercing tip. The blade itself had a reddish hue. The handle was a small circle with 9 spiraling lines with spaces between the lines, and a smooth handle. At the end of the hilt, it had a fox head. The authentication papers he read on it when he first seen it a week ago called it the Kitsune no Kami, or, in English, 9 Fox God. He actually placed that on his mantle and made a note to make sure he would, later on, put seals on the full tang blade's hilt to make it better for actual use. Besides the weapons he got a few other things, such as books he thought were interesting to look at, a poster or two, hell even tarot cards. It was basically just small trinkets he wanted, just something he thought would be interesting to have or use later on. As he got his suit off he noticed the power core was cool, even after the use of 3 tails to take on Superboy and a really radical Starfire. He still wondered where she held that kind of skill and power for so long. As he got a book to read, he seen Jinx come in. "Hey, I see you got your stuff all set around or at least put up for when you actually have a place for it." "Crazy heist, huh?" Naruto chuckled nervously. "You have no idea. Actually, I wanted to see how everyone did together, so I can help them work on being better, and thus we can be better thieves. If we don't get better, then the Titans will clobber us. If we get better, we get more money and things we like." This heist was a test for the team. Jinx hummed but pouted. "Seriously, you think we can't handle ourselves? I will admit, without you we'd have already been toast, but we wouldn't have it any other way. We will get better because we want to keep getting things we want. So, try to be more considerate, would ya?" Naruto nodded and smiled. "I will. I just wanted to try this test once, and we passed. With what we got, I am sure we can get ready for the onslaught. No doubt the Titans are gonna get ready for the next round." Jinx frowned. "And there's new ones too. Wonder Girl, Superboy, Kid Flash? Not to mention Static. All of them are gonna be heavy hitters." Naruto groaned. "Superboy packs a damn wallop, Wonder Girl is way skilled, but Static and Kid Flash hold no fear for me. Speed and electricity? I've seen faster, and I've been hit by and defeated enough lightning using people in my day to know what to do. Besides, this suit is insulated, he can't get me. The bigger problem is Starfire, she's got power and now she gained enough skill to actually pose a challenge." Jinx shivered. She was a woman scorned, for sure. "I think she was focusing her rage at me when it was for you. By the way, think Robin is off training to fight you?" Naruto knew that for sure, but not as Robin. "Yeah, he is, but I have a feeling he won't be Robin next time he comes at us." Jinx looked confused, but shrugged it off. "Well, that is fine with me I suppose. Anyway, we succeeded, and I am going to rest. We all have fought hard and gotten bruises, but happiness in the fact we got all this stuff now is keeping us up and ignoring the pains right now. I'd rather just get some sleep than appreciate it all. Night." Naruto nodded and started reading his book. Truthfully, he wasn't paying attention to the words, but the damn fox inside his head. It finally immersed. "Honestly, you're this low on the chain, and better yet, those bitches are here and no doubt planning a way to finally beat you. You do know that when they finally stop fearing you, they will actually try, and I think you want to keep this world without any damn craters by using my power." Naruto went into his mind to chat it up with the fox, whom was just laying in the field Naruto made for his mindscape. Point? Listen, if you want me to be that son of a bitch from Akatsuki, I will use this Sharingan on you, but I chose never again to be a hero. I'm looking out for me, and this is what I want. I just want to relax, finally have something in my life besides crap, such as a small apartment, a starched bed, ripped walls and a lumpy couch, as well as being heartbroken with no real friends. Here I have the opposite. So, you tell me, what the hell is up your ass after months of not talking? Kyuubi stood up and looked at Naruto in a slight snarl. Threaten with that fucking eye again, I will bit your head off before you can activate the bitch. Digressing, I want more action. Seriously, I loved the fight you put up against Superboy and all, but Batman was a way tougher fight. We both loved the skills we gained. I may have power, but I still only used my skills to beat down on Konoha when I was hypnotized. That was a while back. I want more fucking action, even if it means taking on the JLU to do it. Naruto frowned. You told me they were too powerful, first of all. Second of all, even if I attempted such a thing and was able to pull it off, I would not want my friends in trouble just because I hooped the heroes. Kyuubi grumbled a bit. Fine. Listen, the reason I freaked out was to make you feel like you couldn't take them, so when they came for you, you wouldn't stand a chance. If we were to face them all, though, I am pretty sure we'd be in a slight bit of trouble. They have someone who could rip this entire planet in half if he wanted to, someone faster than you can fucking see, and trust me, Kid Flash pales in comparison to the real deal. That fucker is faster than Rock Lee going 7 gates. No power though, so not as big a deal. Truth is, 1 or 2 at once is barely a bruise, except for fighting Superman. He will require you to use a lot of my power to even face on an equal level. All of them at once? Your chances of winning aren't so great. I'm not gonna lie. But you still have a decent shot at it. Naruto shrugged. And I know why too. Your power is only half of its original state. Besides, I'd rather not use my Rinnegan or Sharingan for anything unless it's for something like that damn Winter Wonderland bullshit. Onto the Konoha flunkies, if you please, none of them have a chance against me at all. I made damn sure to give them a taste of that back when I was still in our original dimension. If they want to try, I can whoop them still. Besides, only real threats were Hinata and Kakashi, and Hinata is out of the picture till further notice, and Kakashi basically can't do crap without a kill on sight order. Most of his techniques are based on assassinations. No doubt, though, he was given the authorization to kill on sight anyone in the way of my capture. Kyuubi nodded. Fine. Just make sure to get some real action soon. I'd rather not have to watch you laze around too much. I know for sure you want more skill fighting. Naruto smiled. Nice seeing you too, and no worries, I will be fighting more, just be patient. With that he left the Kyuubi to his rest. Little did he know, he was about to receive a great team member, and someone to spar with skill more often with. Ravager's underground base, 10 miles south of Titan's Tower. Ravager was watching 9 screens at once in front of her, her body limp in a chair, a needle with very little chemical left in it sitting on a table beside her, and in the dark. The only light came from the screens as she watched them, some of the old battles her father had with the Titans, some recoded recently, and much to her amazement she managed to capture the fight between KitsuneX and the newer Titans. She hummed as she watched. This KitsuneX. Very formidable, and seems to have some kind of precognitive vision. Same as me. Do you hear me? I know what you plan to do. Out of the shadows behind her was Kakashi. He had managed to escape the cell and try to either kill Ravager or force her to talk. Precognitive vision. As in seeing the future. You have this ability? Ravager turned her chair and put her hands together in front of her. Yes. I saw at least 5 ways you could have killed me. Something, I believe you said as you impaled me in the vision, sounding like Raikiri? Another way was a knife to the back through the chair, and another was poison. Need I say the others? Kakashi stepped up and just looked unassuming. No need, I can clearly see you could counter anything I try if you wanted. How little he knew at this moment. So why try? Ravager chuckled softly. Whilst true, I would rather we both be ready for the upcoming storm. Now, the information on KitsuneX. His precognitive vision? Kakashi decided it better to show it. He lifted his headband to show his Sharingan eye. This. He has one as well, and so does Sasuke. Except, Sasuke has one in each eye, whilst me and Naruto, KitsuneX, have it in only one eye. I am guessing you have an idea why? Ravager nodded. Yes. I find it rude to finish someone talking, even when I know what they will say, and interesting. The Sharingan has more functions than just being able to predict an opponent's next move? Kakashi nodded. Besides that, it also has the ability to copy Taijutsu, Genjutsu, or Ninjutsu. You should know each of them, I think. He would rather get to the point of this, seeing as he was growing tired of it. Ravager nodded. Yes. Before I let you ask me questions, I want you to tell me. What is that aura around him? She pointed to the screens and one showed him with a red aura and his cape tails turning into artificial foxtails behind him. Kakashi narrowed his eyes, but before he could speak, she narrowed her own at him. If you wish to catch him, I must know everything, so no classifieds with me. You give me all the details, I give you all mine. That is how this plan will work, otherwise I think you will have a lot of trouble getting through the Titans and the Hive, to get to Naruto. And last time I checked, Naruto beat you by himself. Kakashi just stared at her, looking for her to even flinch and accept it. No dice, as it seemed, and he sighed in defeat. The Kyuubi. One of the 9 major powers in our world. Huge beasts, wielding special powers, and have a number of tails, ranging from 1 tail to 9. Kyuubi is 9 tails. Ravager nodded. And these beasts are sealed inside humans as nuclear deterrents apparently. Well, when I have more information on the new Titans, and 2 I have no clue about, and 1 in particular of the old ones I am very troubles by now, I will tell you, and we may plan together. Fair enough? Kakashi thought it over. Seeing the screens and seeing Starfire much fiercer than normal, he understood she needed time to figure it out. He nodded. Fine. By the way, we'd much rather do more than sit around. Let us walk around from time to time, or I might just kill that butler of yours. Ravager nodded. Fair enough. Now leave me be. Kakashi left and she turned back to the screens. Good thing my father taught me how to bluff. Otherwise he would have known about my weakness. She looked to the needle. Need a serum that doesn't make me unable to lift a finger, but still allows me to see further ahead in the future. She just kept an eye on those monitors, making sure to study every movement. Morning, Titan's Tower. Sure, but kicking Central last night, Pandora tore them a new one, and they saw just how effective KitsuneX can really be against them when he tries. Beast Boy and Cyborg were in the garage, tuning up the T-car, Raven was in her room again, Static was actually out doing patrol on a small theft, nothing on KitsuneX's level by any means, which left Starfire, Kid Flash, Superboy and Wonder Girl making sure of everything. Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, and Superboy worked with Robin before, and didn't play many games when a serious threat was on their list and out free causing havoc, and Starfire was not in the mood to play games either. Wonder Girl pulled up the new record on Pandora. Alright, apparently this is a different group altogether than the Hive. Whilst holding up the bank, they called themselves Pandora. As in, the mythological box given to the maiden Pandora, in which contains everything horrible and nightmarish, but also contains one small hope. If it is a fitting name, I wonder what kind of hope they have that makes them different. Kid Flash looked to Starfire. You said KitsuneX was first part of the Hive, and then turned from then to be Red X, and soon after his mishap with you guys he turned into KitsuneX. Man, sounds like he's alias Central. Wonder Girl pulled up the files for Jinx, Gizmo, and Mammoth. As we've seen, they have as good a teamwork as our own trio, even if we didn't rightfully see all 3 together. What bothers me is Jinx, she's more capable a hand-to-hand combatant than I believed at first.
She put that in.
She then pulled up Private Hive, Kid WYKKYD, and Shago.
These three, I didn't get to read fully on. Mercenary, teleporter and an unknown variable. Who is she?
She looked to Starfire. Starfire hummed but shrugged.
I honestly do not know.
She hasn't been here before, otherwise we would have known her by now. The guess of everyone else here is going to be as good as mine.
Wonder Girl sighed.
Superboy started typing over her and she looked at him.
What are you doing?
Superboy looked to her. You're not exactly computer smart, and I had to be more often with Dick than you did.
I know how to search.
She nodded and let him sit and type.
Superboy huffed and started a scan on the face.
I have the feeling she has a criminal record already. We just have to figure out who she is and what she can do.
It took only 10 minutes and they got a match. Superboy looked a little puzzled. Hero turned bad?
Says here she was a part of a scientific family, and they all had an accident, and afterwards they all gained special abilities.
The Go family turned into Team Go.
Shagogo, international henchman for hire, has enhanced endurance, stamina, black belt in 3 martial arts, and her powers are energy-based projectiles that are shot from her hands. She was mostly a part of another Rouge list, a Kim Possible, also a hero, but not someone who will turn up where other heroes are already taking down villains. She also understands the League's work and issues threatening the planet, and she only takes on the cases that they normally wouldn't handle together.
Starfire was impressed.
You must have trained with him a lot and been a great friend and teammate to him to learn how to find information like he does.
Superboy smiled.
He was like a brother to me. But there we have it, Shago and her record.
We are facing a really diverse force.
A genius, 2 muscles, a transport, 2 athletic challenges, and the leader, who I have to say is going to be the equivalent of fighting of Superman and Batman at the same time.
We are out of our league.
But we do know this, they still haven't the tactical skill to bring us down now.
Donna, you know the drill, you're the tactician. Wonder Girl nodded and smiled. My pleasure. Wait, what's this?
She had Superboy pull up another file.
Blackfire? Someone you know, Starfire?
Starfire just stood there, staring at her sister for a while before closing her eyes, tilting her head down.
My sister. She came here before, and was here only to make me an intergalactic criminal.
She thinks I ruined her life, when I did no such thing.
I keep trying to help her.
And Dick did explain in the file not to mess with her. I will be the one she is after, and I am the one that needs to talk to her.
Wonder Girl thought on this. She sighed and smiled. Fine, I respect both of your choices, so let's forget about it.
So, we know what we are up against, we should train to make sure we don't lose to them again.
Main problem is gonna be X.
Superboy closed the files and got up.
I'm getting some air. Can't do anything without at least some relaxation. You had me patrol all last night after that fight, in search of their base. Wonder Girl nodded. Fine, just make sure to be ready for training today before dinner. He waved off and Starfire looked to Wonder Girl. He is very quiet. Kind of like Raven.
Wonder Girl smiled a little.
I guess you can say he had a troubling past.
It's not easy knowing you're just a clone of Superman made by an evil organization.
Starfire looked surprised hearing that. Wonder Girl nodded. Hard to believe he's a hero, right?
He wants to prove he isn't some science project, nor some kind of generic Superman copy, that he is himself and his own person as well as his own hero.
He has a mind of his own.
Starfire looked at him as he walked out the door and smiled. It's always interesting seeing friends of Dick so much like him in so many ways. He may not be here now, but his spirit is here with us.
Wonder Girl nodded, smiling. Just bear with it. Dick doesn't give up on anything, he will be back and better than ever.
With that, Starfire went to her room to gain a quick rest, but found a note sphere on the outside of her window. One that was usually used on her planet during the wars. She grabbed it, and a hologram popped up. Her sister, Blackfire. "Hello, dear sister. After so many failures, I finally succeeded. Meet me at the Jump City main bridge tonight, sunset, and come alone. I want to settle this just between us." Starfire looked at the sphere in her hand and closed her eyes. She opened them and they glowed as she destroyed the thing. "No, sister, if you continue down the same path you shall always fail. I must show you the right path, or you will never become the heir to the throne as you so see fit for you." Blackfire picked the wrong week to decide to fuck with her sister over who's better suited for the crown. And that was going to be the biggest mistake, and the best salvation, for her life. With Naruto, sunset. Naruto had taken to donning his X-suit and going out to patrol potential targets for another robbery. No one would expect him and Pandora to try again so soon. It had become nighttime, so he could easily stealth his way without using energy, so Raven never found him. He knew she could if he didn't hide himself. He was about to teleport to one of his kunai in the middle of the city when he suddenly seen a big explosion on a bridge on the other end of town. What the fuck? That looked like Starfire's bolts. And, strangely, a black version. Whoa! He seen rapid-fire green bolts and a few black ones flying around in the sky and decided to get a closer look. Naruto teleported to the nearest kunai and sat down, watching the battle in the sky, activating his Sharingan to gain a better look. He was impressed by Starfire's determination alright, but what really intrigued him was the fact the other one was just like her, yet was determined to use her skills rather than her powers. He watched in amazement at this fight. Starfire rose up, hands and eyes glowing as she stared down her sister, Blackfire, whom rose up huffing from anger. "You were never this good before, you were always too sweet and innocent to know how to really fight. Too naive to understand the true way of a real warrior. And you still don't understand. I will prove I am more worthy of Father's praise." Blackfire rushed in and threw a hard punch, only to have it dodged as Starfire twisted around it and clotheslined her in the air, forcing her to spin a little and fall. Blackfire got her bearing quick and turned in time for her sister to ram into her, tackling her, and forcing them both to the ground, making a crater. Blackfire roared with energy and blasted Starfire back, forcing her higher in the sky with a powerful beam of her own before flying right back into the fight. "You won't beat me again. I had to go through hell and back, and I won't go back again. Never again. I won't be the disowned daughter whilst you have everything for any longer." Blackfire roared and rushed in, firing punch after punch at Starfire, who was having a little trouble blocking or dodging half of them and getting clocked in the jaw and stomach with fierce energy fists, and Blackfire twisted, raising a leg, and roared as she slammed it down hard and axe kicked Starfire down and into the water near the bridge. Naruto whistled. Damn, she's got some moves. Still, something is off. Wanting to prove her power and yet only using skill? Either she has no real power or she thinks skill is power. Let's see. Starfire splashed from under the water and rammed both fists into her sister and fired a heavy blast into Blackfire's chest, and cracking the armor she was wearing, and blasting her back to the beach. Blackfire hit the ground hard and groaned in pain. Starfire descended a bit to level with her sister. "Sister, I do not wish to fight, nor take anything from you. You've disowned yourself, and for that you wish my torture? If you want the crown so badly, you must think of not yourself but our race. You will always be my sister, and I will always love you for you are my family, but I will not allow you to hurt my friends, nor harm the earth for your selfish desires to bring me pain." Blackfire snarled. "You think this is about torturing you? Don't make me laugh. All I have gained I gained on my own whilst you got everything. This isn't about torturing you, this is about showing how much better I am than you, how I deserve what you get. You didn't have to work as hard as I have." Blackfire saw her bolts were starting to diminish and scoffed. "Great. The armor is too damaged. I'll need to use the minimal of my powers to show her. Let us finish this, sister dear."
Blackfire roared and blasted with immense speed into the sky and rammed a forceful punch into Starfire's stomach, which was actually surprisingly powerful, knocking the wind out of Starfire before pulling her back by her arm and ramming a foot into the same spot, then twisting fast before throwing Starfire into the same crater she herself was just in before attacking her sister now. Starfire caught herself on the ground, heaving and holding her stomach, but eyes glowing. Blackfire roared as she tried to finish it, only for Starfire to turn and, at point-blank range, fire her eye bolts into her sister, tearing some of the cracked armor apart and forcing her back, the force and power she used enough to knock her sister unconscious. Naruto narrowed his eyes seeing this and was quick, suddenly speeding and catching Blackfire before she went into the water, and Starfire stopped in front of him, having tried to catch her sister before he did. Starfire pointed her starbolt at him and narrowed her eyes. "What are you doing here? Also, I suggest you let my sister go. Now." Naruto looked to Starfire and chuckled. "After the whooping I gave you guys last time, you really want to try me? Especially since I got your sister here? You're willing to nearly kill your sister over a chance at me? Heartless, I'd say." Starfire scoffed hard, her muscles tight as she tried to figure out what to do. Before she could figure out a plan, Naruto just vanished and she grit her teeth. She fired a bolt into the water and roared a bit. Why? This was not her week. She returned to the tower and just sat in her room, holding the cape she had onto her and tearing. "Dick, I miss you so much. Please return soon, we are useless without you." The others may not be as bad as she was currently, but they still were having troubles coping with the situations right now, and this was just going to be the same situation until Dick returned. It was going to be a rough time for them, but they all knew never give up this fight. Dick wouldn't, so neither would they. Cyborg was keeping everything in top shape for practice, and in case they needed anything, Beast Boy was keeping busy so he didn't go crazy, and Raven was meditating to keep her grief and anger at bay. Static was in his room looking at the floor a bit and wondering what he could do. Wonder Girl was praying to her gods and looking at her shield, sword, and helmet she kept with her adoptive culture of the Amazons. Kid Flash was sleeping, such a carefree person, while Superboy was on the roof, looking at the sun setting. The whole tower was buzzing with some type of activity, and the whole tower was in disarray. Pandora HQ. Sister. Blackfire forced her body upright in intense fashion, just before growling in pain and holding her stomach, bowling over on the bed. She looked around and seen she was in a room with medical gear, and then saw someone was beside her. Naruto was still in costume as he looked to her. "Relax. You're not in battle anymore. Pretty crazy one you did have though, gotta say you are pretty good. Sadly, you came into battle Starfire at the wrong time." Blackfire growled and tried to charge her bolts, but found her energy was depleted. She got into a combat stance and Naruto stood before her, not changing, not tense, just calm and standing before her, non-hostile. "Relax." Blackfire shifted about a little before speaking. "Who are you? Am I in another prison? You cannot keep me in here forever." Naruto put his hands up slowly and shook his head. "You've got the wrong idea. Not uncommon, mind you, but one I would rather put past us. This is Pandora HQ, a secret base hidden on the outskirts of Jump City. This is not a government site, nor a prison. This is a home for super-powered thieves." Blackfire was a little puzzled by this. Naruto saw this and, after a few clicks, he slipped his helmet off. "I'm Naruto, leader of Pandora. This team is basically a rival team to the Titans. We are not villains, nor heroes, we are just thieves." Blackfire stood in stance for a moment before letting part of her guard down. "Blackfire. No affiliations." Naruto nodded. Blackfire, thought so. "But the big question is not your name, but your power. You are fighting with a martial arts style, and not trying to blast me into next week, may I ask why?" Blackfire growled more. "That's a private matter. All I can say to you is I don't need my powers to take you on." Naruto chuckled a bit but smiled. "I like that.
Still, your skills alone, and apparently your inability to use your powers as well, will not beat Starfire, not anymore. She's become the perpetual sleeping monster being woken up. Trust me, she's not right in the head anymore. Blackfire frowned and looked at him weirdly. What do you mean? What happened to her? Naruto shrugged. No one knows for sure yet, but the theory going around the base is, she's lost a friend close to her, and theory is she loved this friend. Robin left the team, if you didn't hear, and ever since she's been packing heavier punches, racing speed, and skills I never seen her use before. Blackfire blinked and thought a moment before softly chuckling, but that chuckle grew into full-blown laughter. Oh, that is rich. Ha 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 ha. My little sister fell for him. I knew right off she had something special for the guy when I first visited, but this? That's amazing. Makes sense though, we Tamaranians are emotional. We use our feelings to use our powers, so if she is missing someone she loves, I should have noticed, she would become a true warrior. It's how our mother was when our dad went missing one time. Naruto smiled and chuckled a bit. A little about your race and culture I know about now. Good start. We fought against the Titans the other day, and beat them whilst robbing a bank. Starfire was pretty rough, but I beat her. Blackfire gripped her hands into fists and looked at Naruto. You beat my sister? You don't look that impressive, suit or not. I bet you don't have any powers. Naruto smirked and put his hand out, and suddenly a Rasengan formed. First rule of a fight, never underestimate your opponent. Always expect them to be more powerful and learn their weakness before pulling out all the stops. If you are speaking with Tamaranian pride, you have spunk, but you're not using your head. It doesn't matter what race you are, what powers you have, there will always be someone out there who can and will defeat you someday. Blackfire looked down, defeated as she felt powerless. Naruto knew it was now or never to ask the big question, and turned his back to her. Are you out for revenge against your sister? You want to beat her just to prove you're better than her, to kill her maybe? You want her laid out before you unconscious or otherwise just because you hate her? Blackfire snarled. You do not know anything about me, so do not even put those words in my mouth. Yes, I hate my sister, yes I want to prove myself, but not to my sister, to everyone. To my people, to my father, I want to prove that I am the one who should be seen as a true warrior, as the true princess of Tamarin. My sister, innocent and naive, has always gotten everything. The love of the people, the next in line for the crown, father's respect and love, she even has friends who would do anything for her, and I am all alone, no one to show me they care, no one who understands. I had to steal and fight, practically kill just to survive. I had to work my ass off and had bruises, I actually had to work for everything I want. Naruto smirked as she was in the middle of her big speech. Sounds a bit like me. Guess she never had anything either. Well, we will change that in time. Blackfire was huffing, gritting her teeth and snarling as her knuckles turned white from the strain she put on them, her body tense and shaking as a few tears ran from her eyes. I've never had anything or anyone, and I never will, and I don't need them either. I can do things on my own, I can still fight and still win if I try. Congratulations. Blackfire looked a little surprised at Naruto as he turned, smiling and looking at her. You've impressed me with that. Tell you what, don't rush into your own demise or your own defeat once more, instead. Instead, stay with us, join Team Pandora, and I will help you. For no charge whatsoever. Blackfire looked shocked at this and Naruto put his hand out. You remind me of myself, and that's just one of the few reasons I came to this choice. Join us, and I personally guarantee you, you will be stronger, faster, and more skilled than your sister will ever dream to be. Blackfire was still stunned from this. This blonde in front of her not only understood her, and wanted to help her, but wanted to make her better, to be greater, presenting her with his offer as a friend, not just as a business choice. Naruto stayed still, awaiting her choice. There are a few catches. Her heart sunk. But none that are against who you are. You do not need to pay me, you do not need to show me any kind of appreciation except allowing us the option of becoming friends. All you need to do is promise you will not fire off like a spitfire, not rush out because you feel a bit stronger. You must promise me that you will calm down and allow yourself to finally relax. All of us will be your friends, maybe a new and better family if you allow us. What do you say? She shook herself from her stunned expression and smiled, standing tall and clapping her hand in Naruto's, nodding.
That's a promise I have no quarrel against accepting. I promise. Naruto nodded back. Welcome to Pandora. That's it for this reading. Hit like and subscribe for a free ticket pass going to the different worlds of anime fanfiction. Looking forward to having you on board again.